The middle brother proposed to his girlfriend only 3 months after we got engaged, and he did it on my birthday. Hey guys, welcome back to another week of me reacting to your wedding stories, the good, the bad, the ugly, and everything in between. And just a reminder, it's not only wedding stories. So if you have a wild first date story, if you have a wild college story, if you have a wild vacation story, you can send it my way. I react to all kinds of stories. This page just kind of started as wedding stories because I loved weddings and events and I was a part of so many, but we have expanded a lot in that time. So I'm happy to react to all kinds of stories. And if you're new here, welcome. A lot of these stories I turn into skits. Sometimes they're skits first. Sometimes I read them on the podcast. Here comes the drama. So there's all kinds of way to consume this content, and it gets pretty wild. So without further ado, here is this week's wild story submission. Okay. I started dating my husband, who is the youngest of 3 brothers in a family of surgeons. His middle brother is 15 years older than him, and his oldest brother is 19 years older. The middle brother was also dating someone about 15 years younger than him, around our age, who happened to be a dentist, while the oldest brother was already married to a dentist and had children. Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, the middle brother was dating someone 15 years younger than him, who was close to the OP's age. And then the oldest brother was already married to a dentist and had children. From the beginning, his family, especially my mother-in-law, made it clear that they valued status and education. She constantly questioned why I hadn't continued my education or pursued medicine and implied that I wasn't good enough because I wasn't a doctor. Oh my gosh. You hear about these families existing, and I can't imagine being put into that pressure of like, you need to do more. You need to do something different with your life, even if that's not what your true passion is. His middle brother even warned my husband that dating me might require sacrifices because I could feel left out in a family full of doctors. As our relationship became more serious, there was obvious competition, jealousy, and copying from the middle brother and his girlfriend. It felt like they wanted to mirror everything we were doing. The same weekend our families met each other, his family arranged for them to meet her family as well. After we got engaged and my family paid for a large engagement party, his family invited the girlfriend's parents to our event without asking permission. What? Over time, it became clear there was resentment toward our relationship and a constant need to compete with or overshadow us. The middle brother proposed to his girlfriend only 3 months after we got engaged, and he did it on my birthday. Was that intentional? I think it probably was. Then they planned their engagement party while we were out of town, forcing us to cut our vacation short to attend. No, thank you. If you had your vacation planned ahead of time, why are we cutting it short just to attend their engagement that they just planned? No. Around the same time, my husband and his brother got into a major fight due to the ongoing tension and disrespect. During that argument, my brother-in-law insulted me, referring to me as that girl instead of using my own name, accused me of brainwashing my husband, and said that his own fiance wasn't even allowed to speak negatively about his family or involve herself in family matters. After that, the brothers stopped speaking. Instead of addressing the hurtful things that were said about me, my mother-in-law became fixated on forcing her sons to reconcile. See, I hate that when they ignore what was actually said and the hurtful things that were said and just being like, you know what, be the bigger person, just apologize. It's like, yes, at the end of the day, you want to get along with your family and move forward, but things still hurt. You can't just brush it under the rug just to move forward. It sounds like the mother-in-law doesn't even care that these things were said. She constantly inserted herself through group texts, FaceTimes, emotional conversations, and guilt trips. At my husband's surprise birthday party, she even invited the brother without telling us and spent the entire night trying to push them to make up. How awkward. Someone's surprise birthday party is not the time. If he was already not invited, don't invite him. Like, don't do that. That is not your place. How awkward. Oh my gosh. Okay. It turned the event into something about her and their relationship instead of celebrating my husband. Yep. 7 months before our wedding, the brother texted to ask if we would be okay for them to have their wedding 2 weeks after ours. in the same month. We politely told them we weren't comfortable with that and asked them not to. So here's the thing. I do have to say it's nice of them that they reached out and asked. It's so hard to say and everything's nuanced, right? I don't think you can personally control when someone else chooses to get married. I do think it was considerate of them to ask, like, hey, can we get married a couple weeks after you? But in general, that is a lot. That's a lot for families. They are doing it after. It would be very like sneaky and rude, I think, to do it 2 weeks before. But you know what? To each their own. Throughout our engagement, my mother-in-law continued to make comments suggesting she didn't believe our relationship would last. Oh my gosh, who does that? They are engaged. They have a wedding date set. They are getting married. Why are we acting this way? It's so inappropriate. When we sent out save the dates, she asked, isn't it too soon? She was probably hoping you would change your mind. She also delayed giving us her guest list for over 2 months, despite multiple requests, then invited someone to our wedding the night before, even though our seating chart had already been finalized. Okay, I have a lot to say about this because there was a similar story where this happened, where they constantly asked the mother-in-law, send us your guest list, send us your guest list. Who do you want? And then they ended up going over to the house and getting the address book and writing down people that they think she would want invited. And my response then is the same now. And it's, if someone makes it hard for you to get their names and get addresses, they don't get plus ones. They don't get guests at the wedding. They don't get to invite anybody. Tell them this is the deadline. If we don't have your names and numbers or names and addresses by this date, you're not inviting anybody. And then if they don't do it, then they don't get anybody. It's also like she invites someone the day before. Like, who is this person? Obviously, they weren't important enough if you didn't think of them earlier on. Ugh, come on. I just don't like when there's rude people. Like, come on. You're rude their whole engagement. Put them down, like making all these comments about the daughter-in-law. And now you're just like, I don't know, whatever. Okay. When we expressed our frustration, she showed up to the wedding visibly angry and emotional. She complained to my mother, which upset me so much that I ended up crying on my wedding day. Why are we complaining like that, showing up angry and emotional because you couldn't give them their guest list and then you decided to invite someone the night for the wedding? That's your problem, mother-in-law. That's not their problem. And why are you complaining at the wedding? Let them have their day, please. During the reception, she argued with my husband in the middle of the dance floor because she felt he wasn't giving her enough attention. It is not your day, mother-in-law. It is not your day. Why does your husband need to be giving you all the attention on his wedding day? Wild. And you didn't even support them. Oh my gosh. Wild, wild, wild. During the father-daughter dance, she stood next to him, complaining the entire time that they weren't getting a dance. I wonder why. Despite all of this, she didn't contribute financially to the wedding at all and never even gave us a gift. Again, I say it many times before, it's not a requirement for a parent to give a gift, right? People have different financial obligations, different like customary things in their family, whatever. But to not even give a card or just some small meaningful gift, anything, shows how she really felt about them. I would really like to know what she gave, if she gave anything to the other son and his new wife, because actually, did we learn about that wife's job or status? She was younger, I know that, but I don't think it says anything about her job. But it just makes me wonder if she got a nice gift for them. Very, very interested. My brother-in-law eventually got married about 9 months after us at a very similar looking venue. Okay, at least, you know what? They took into consideration your feelings and they pushed it back. I would applaud them for that because I think that's very respectable. But by then, we had already created enough distance that the jealousy and copying felt less direct. Over the following 3 years, even more situations occurred that reinforced the pattern of toxicity, manipulation, control, and disrespect. Whew, that's a lot. Eventually, I made the decision to go completely no contact with the entire family. I need to know, I know there's a little bit more, but I need to know if you just did, you made the decision for both of you, or you both are no contact, because that's got to add a whole new layer if only you are no contact, but he still contacts them. I would think that would cause a huge divide in your relationship, because let's say it's the mom's birthday, the brother's birthday, and then your husband goes, and then you wonder what they say about you. Do they ask about you? He comes home, maybe he acts a little different with you. Or are you both no contact? I need to know these things. I'm very interested because I think it has to be similar. And I think he needs to be the gateway for you and the family. And he needs to put his foot down and stand up for you and decide, like, we're going to have no contact, little contact, just holidays, or, we're going to work on these relationships. Looking back, so much of the resentment, judgment, and treatment towards us seemed to be rooted in the fact that I wasn't a doctor. There are so many more details and incidents over the years that add even more context to how unhealthy and emotionally damaged the dynamic became. Yikes. Unfortunately, I've seen this happen a lot, and I've heard it happen a lot in families where status is the most important thing. Money, jobs, how you look on the outside, what car you drive. It's wild. It's wild. It's unfortunately a very common thing. And families that are like that can't get past, we love each other. It doesn't matter what she does for work. It doesn't matter what car she drives or how much money her family has. I love her and we want to be together. So I would be really curious to know how your husband is standing up for you in these situations. Is he low contact? Has he stood up to his mom about you? Because the fact that she constantly made comments up to the wedding and then at the wedding stirred the pot and caused all these other issues, I would have wanted to be low contact before the wedding even. And the fact that she was still there taking away from this special day really upsets me for you. And so I'm proud of you for making this decision, but also I feel like at the end of the day, he needs to be right there with you. Otherwise, it's going to cause a little bit of a divide. I don't know. You guys let me know what you think. This was a very complex situation. If you guys relate to the situation, share below because I think it also will help the person that sent this in to see from other people what they went through and then how they maybe overcame it. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me this week, and I will see you next time. Bye now.